In this video, we are going to see GCP, IAM, and admin. Okay, so in this video, we will see the briefly about IAM and admin in the theoretical way. From the next video, we are going to see on hands-on how to do all this IAM and all. Okay, how to manage the taxes and all. We are going to see the next video. In this video, we will see in the theoretical way. Okay, now today's topic, which is nothing but an IAM and admin. Here, if you see the IAM is nothing but it is a full form. It is what is the full form is? The full form is Identity Access Management. I stands for the identity, A stands for the access, and M stands for the manage. We will see detailedly about what is identity and what is access and what is the management also. Now, when it comes to the identity, okay, now it comes to the identity. Here, the identity is nothing but it can be any user account, or it can be any service accounts, or it can be any Google groups also. So the identity can be any one of this or any of this. Now, what actually the user account is? Now, if you see what are the types are there in the identity, here if you see what is user account. What is the user account means? A user is nothing but a real person. It means who is having their email ID. That person we are going to call it as a user account. Yes, while we are creating the GCP free tier also, that time we are going to provide our email ID, right? It is nothing but you are the real person where you are creating your account. Okay. Here, how the example of that email ID will be is everyone know that username along with the domain name will be there. For example, if you take the Gmail account, username at the rate gmail.com will be there. So like that, it is nothing but a user account, a real person who is having their email ID to log in or sign in, then we are going to call it as a user account. So why we need this user account is if you want to give the permissions or if you want to grant any access to the user, for him, he require this email ID that I'll show you on the hands-on. Why we require that email ID and all. Okay, the identity we can call it as also a principal. The another name we can call it the identity as the principal. Okay, so here for the user, what you can do is by using an IAM roles. There is a concept called roles. We will see the further. So by using that roles, we are going to assign the permissions to this user account. Okay, simple point you have to remember is a user account is nothing but a real person who is having the email ID. How the email ID that everyone know how it will be. Okay, now when comes to the another type is service account. So here, what is the major difference between the user account and the service account is in the user account, you have the real person. When coming to the service account, you are not having a real person. It means not a person. For example, if you take any application, let us assume to understand betterly, let us take we have the bot account. Okay. What this bot account is going to do is, for example, if you kept any bot to your application or your virtual machine, okay, to access the GCP services automatically without involvement of human, the bot will take care of all the GCP services. It means automatically it is going to use the services. That type of bot accounts are will comes under the service account. Here there is a no real person. Okay, the bot is there. The bot is going to access this GCP services. For example, sir, for any better understanding, is there any example? Yes, you have one of the best example which I have taken here. You can see here. What I was mentioned is, let us take you have the virtual machine. The task of that virtual machine is it has to upload the files to your cloud storage. Every night it has to upload. Let us take at the end of the day. The virtual machine has to upload the files to the Google Cloud Storage. Now let us take what I did is I created the service account. I created the service account and I given the permissions to access the cloud storage. In the service account, I have created the bot. Okay, that bot account is there. Now, what this VM virtual machine is going to do is The virtual machine is going to use this service account to log in and upload the files into the Google Cloud Storage. Here, any manual interaction is there? No, here there is no any manual. No human is accessing or no human is managing the services. The bot automatically what it is going to do at every night it is going to upload the files in the GCS. It means Google Cloud Storage. Example, bot accounts is there. So these will comes under the service account. It is a very bullet point we can remember is not a person. It is a service account. I hope you got the clear understanding about what is user account and what is service account. User account is nothing but a real person with their respected email ID. When it comes to the service account, there will be a no human will be present there. It may be any bot account or any other account will be there. Will comes under the service account where you can access the GCP services automatically. Let us take. So these were the major difference that we need to understand in the identity. And the next we can see what is meant by access. Very important. What is meant by access is in GCP, access means what a user or it may be any service account. It may be user account or it may be service account is allowed to do with the cloud resources. By giving the access only, the user account or the service account are going to allow to access the cloud resources. Based upon the specific permissions, they can access your cloud resources. Okay, so to grant this access to the service account or to the user account, to grant this access, here the very important thing is the roles are needed. So here what is important point we need to remember is you cannot directly you assign the permissions to the user account or the service account. You cannot assign. What is the important thing you have to remember is the roles are needed to give the access to the user account or to the service account. Then what is mean by role? You are telling that roles are needed to give the access to the service account or the user account. Then what is mean by roles? The roles is nothing but it is a set of permissions. The set of permissions we are going to call it as a role, which it is going to tell that what type of actions can an identity can perform on the GCP resource. The identity can be the user account and the service account. It is going to tell what they can do in the by the GCP resources. What type of things they can do. That permissions is going that role is going to tell. Here, if you observe the identity here, the identity can be any service account or the identity can be, as I told, a user account. Okay. For that, what you need to do is, for that, you need to assign the role. Okay. Then only you can get the access to that particular cloud resources. It means, for example, if you take role, any role, for example, BigQuery admin is there. If you assign that BigQuery admin to the, it means that role to this particular identity, then only he has the access to utilize all that BigQuery related things. So if you won't allow him or if you won't assign any role to him, what type of work will he do? You're getting my point? So we need to assign the role to him. For example, any new developer came to the company, what we are going to do, we are assigning the role, right? You are the junior developer, you are the senior developer, like that, we are assigning the roles, right? In the same way, for this identity also, we have to assign the role. Then only that particular set of permissions will be allocated to that particular principal account or that particular identity. Then only he or she is going to allow to access that particular GCP resources. Okay, I'll show you all this in the hands-on, then it will be very easy to understand there. Okay. Next, if you take what is meant by management, if you see what is meant by management, a management is nothing but which is managing the relationship. Which relationship it is managing? It is managing the relationship between identity and at the same time access. The relation between these two is managed by you by the management. It means here we need to have a management that can be done by a policy. by the policy, we can manage the relationship between the identity and the access. Then what is meant by policy? You told policy is needed. Then what is meant by policy? The policy means it is nothing but the assigning the roles to the identity. If you assign a role to the identity, that we are going to call it as a binding. Okay. That set of bindings, we are going to call it as a policy. Okay. If you assign, he, if you take the previous slide, what I told, let us take here the BigQuery admin is there. That role I have assigned to this, but one of the service account or one of the user account, I have assigned the role to this identity, this BigQuery admin. That time, what it is, nothing but it is a one binding was happened. It is a one binding. Like that, if you have the multiple bindings, if you assign multiple roles, it is nothing but a set of bindings. We are going to call it as a policy. Okay, set of bindings, we will call it as a policy. Then what is meant by binding? Binding is nothing but assigning a role to the identity. If you assign one role to the identity, that we will call it as a binding. Like that, if you assign multiple roles to the identities, we are going to call it as a set of bindings. We are going to call it as a policy. Whenever you update the role, that time automatically the policy also will be updated. Whenever you're creating the principal your freighter account or normal account to the GCP, that time the policy will be created. Later on, it is going to update that policy if you assign the roles. I'll show you all these things in the hands-on. Don't worry, it will be very easy to understand in the hands-on. Okay. Next, what are the different type of roles are there? As we discussed here, role is roles are there. That roles we are going to discuss now. What are the different types are there? We will see here. Why? Because there is a very important difference we have to see between all the roles. Okay. Now here, what are the types of roles are available? So there are three types of roles are available. One is a basic role, another one is predefined role, another one is a custom roles are there. So the basic role, what the basic role is, if you assign the basic roles to the identity, if you assign any basic roles to this identity, what was happening is it is going to give all the permissions for the most of the services. For example, if any one person came, if I given him the BigQuery basic role as a BigQuery editor, I have given by the basic role. He has generally what has to done, he has to access only the BigQuery related data, right? BigQuery related services, right? But what is happening is if you assign any BigQuery editor or if you assign any BigQuery viewer like this, if you assign any of this editor, if you use any viewer in the basic rule, but then what they can do is they can see and change the things. It means they can see and they can change all the things which is not related. For example, if I assign him the BigQuery admin editor I have given, in that time what he has is he has the access to access the services of a data proc also in the GCP. You can access the Google Cloud Storage also. You can access the many of the resources. But what I have assigned him, only BigQuery I have assigned him. BigQuery editor or BigQuery admin I have given. Now what happened here? He has the access to the remaining services also. He can change it. Okay, so here the basic role, what's it happening is if you assign any basic role, all the permissions will be allowed for the most of the services to that particular user account or the service account. So if you take a predefined roles, so this is a for the solution of these basic roles, we have the solution is a predefined roles. It means here what is happening if I assign any basic roles to the identity, what is happening? All the permissions it is allowing right to that user account. So to restrict such type of things, no, only he has to access BigQuery related resources only. So we need to mention the particular resource. That time you can go with the predefined roles. If you go with the predefined roles, if I give them an access called a BigQuery admin, if I give, he has the only access for the BigQuery. He cannot access the data proc or he cannot access the TensorFlow remaining things. Okay, so here what you can do is you can restrict the access. They cannot utilize or they cannot use the remaining resources. You can restrict the access. But in this case, they can access all the resources, whatever the GCP is going to provide. It means most of the resources they will use, not all. Okay. Or you have the one more type called a custom roles, where you can customize your roles. It means you can create your own roles using the combination of the permissions, which is a predefined permissions are there. You can make it as a combination, or you can customize your roles. That is also one time is type of roles are available. You can create your custom. Okay, in this video we have seen theoretically, we have seen. The next video we are going to see on the hands-on how the IAM we have to create the roles, and how to create, how to assign the predefined, and how to assign the basic roles, etc. And all we are going to see in the next video. I'll touch these PPT there also. No need to worry about there. I'll show there, and again I'll give you some more clarity on this explanation. Okay, thank you.